I recently had the opportunity to pick up one of these Seagull P26 Peashooters, so I thought I'd take this time to give you a virtual unboxing experience so you can see every single piece that's included and you can get an idea of what you're getting yourself into if you pick up this ARF. So without any further ado, let's get this box open. Just showing really quick what the box looks like. A nice picture on the front to let you know. And here it is opened up, and we'll have a quick panning close-up right here of how everything is packaged. Everything is individually wrapped and taped to the side or stapled to the side, so very secure. I had no damage problems with all these pieces. So a lot of this unwrapping I'll speed through at double time, but wanted to show you each of the elevators. An interesting thing with these elevators is that it's using a wire hinging, and it's already done at the factory, and you can see when I show the end, the wire is already put through and taped. It's really interesting. No gluing pin hinges or CA hinges. And right here I'm realizing, wow, that's a lot of throw for a Warbird elevator. It's just really nice. So covering's nice, looks good. We'll take the other one out. Same as the first, but just to give you an idea, again, already hinged with that massive throw. That's like 70 degrees of throw, so really cool design. You're definitely going to not need that much, but just to give you an idea of what you're dealing with. And here's the rudder. Pull this out of the packing. And for the rudder, it was individually wrapped and it's already pre-hinged. Same wire hinge, and there is one piece of on the rear of the fuselage where I think it wants you to pull this wire out for the rudder, but we'll talk about that later. But look, again, massive rudder throw, so I'm thinking Peashooter pop top. I don't know if that's going to happen, but that's what came into my mind when I saw this massive throw, Peashooter pop top. Again, you're never going to need that much throw for this, but really cool design. And there's that wire for the hinge. And let's get started with the wings. We can see here the ailerons are again already hinged, and if you look where my hand is near the tip of the wing, you can see where that the wire for the hinge comes out, and it's already taped. And we can see the neat looking flaps are already there. The flaps are going to be controlled very much like the Seagull Perestroika, so I'll put a link to that right now, but pretty self-explanatory. It's a lot of it looks like about, what, 50% sheeted, and you can see the places where it's opened inside underneath the covering, so pretty nice overall. Here's the other wing, same as the first. Those holes you see are for the rigging, the flying wires. Keep in mind, I will have a link to the build manual from Seagull in the description, so I would say maybe follow along with the manual as you're looking at all these parts. Here's the wing root. Looks like it's pretty beefy where it connects to the fuselage. Here is the instruction booklet. It's not colored, it's black and white, but it should be good enough. And we have the decal sheet. Looks like it comes with the alternate 94th First Pursuit Squadron. It's that Sioux head. And this looks like the decal sheet for the light blue scheme, the other scheme that Seagull offers. So here are the main wing tube and the tube for the rear stab, and then all of the push rods, which really cool. They're all assembled. So there should be a little bit less guesswork on which push rods to use for what, but so everything is assembled and wrapped up in there. It's very nice. Here's the main accessory bag. You can see there's the fuel tank in there. There's a bunch of springs and the flying wire equipment. We'll open this up really quick and pull everything out. There's a fuel tank. First thing is the flap hinges. Again, just like on the Seagull Perestroika. We have the nice tail wheel, and yes, I made fun of that same tail wheel on the Perestroika, but turns out I like it. So really nice tail wheel. Flying wire equipment. All of your ends and all, your control horns, screws, hardware. Looks like the wing bolts are in there too. Engine mounting bolts and standoffs, and the springs for the flying wires. And these are, I didn't know when I pulled those out what they were, but they are for dressing up the dummy radial engine. So I'm going to set those aside and bring that out. Here's the canopy. The P26 was one of the last open canopy fighters, so that's pretty nice. Here are the mounting assemblies for the landing gear, and you can see there's some posts that go down into the wing. So I'd like anyone who put an older version of the P26 together, let us know in the comments below. Has anything changed? We'd love to hear. I'd love to know what's been updated. Love to know that Seagull's making some updates. Really quick, we saw the included pilot, and now this is the electric conversion package, which is again very, very similar to what came with the Seagull Perestroika. We have the mount, we have the bolts and some tri-stock and some Velcro on the side. And if you haven't seen this before, the motor box is really nice because it allows you to use, you know, whatever electric motor you're thinking, and you can adjust that the distance, and then you glue that in and use the tri-stock to brace that when you get the perfect fit for whichever motor you choose to use. Here are the wheels. And what's interesting is these are the same exact wheels with a different color hub that came with the Black Horse 50cc Redline I've done a build series for. They're pretty stiff. Let's look at the landing gear themselves. So there's 4 pieces here. There's the main strut, and then there's a rear brace for each side. And that's one of the rear braces. And then these are the struts. They are oleos, but they're kind of like pseudo. I think it's just a spring inside there, and you're gonna see me kind of actuate these a little bit. And in that bag are the 2 axles. It's definitely not a gas-filled or a really high-quality oleo. It's just a spring there, but hey, it's a spring. And here are the wheel pants, and these are huge wheel pants just because of the nature of the Peashooter. And I couldn't help but think these kind of look like rubber galoshes coming out, but they're painted nice. They're pretty sturdy, and they have the hard points for the flying wires. That's what I'm kind of playing with right there on both the inside and the outside. So pretty nice looking wheel pants. This is the first one, and we'll pull out the next one just to show you the other one. Here's that iconic P26 Cowling, and I'm not going to speed through this unwrapping because this is wrapped very nicely. I just want to show you it's double wrapped and really happy with this. So very nice high gloss paint job. However, the first thing you notice is that those yellow pinstripes are actually pinstripes. They're not painted, and you can see on top how they're folded over. So there are a few bubbles in this shot. You can see how those pinstripes are causing some bubbles, so maybe some heat will get those out and look a little bit smoother. But just to let you know, those pinstripes are trim. Here is the bracket that mounts the cowling to the fuse, and this is the little cover that goes over the tail wheel bay. You cut this out for the tail wheel. Here is the dummy radial, and I'm going to be honest with you, I was kind of uninspired when I pulled this out. That yellow is kind of a flat yellow. It doesn't look really good, but I think with a little bit of work, this can look really nice. So we're gonna have to trim a lot of the ends and trim out some areas in between the cylinders. And that little package I had earlier with those little tubes, the instruction booklet shows where to drill holes to add some of the rods and some holes for some ignition wire. So we'll be able to dress this up and paint this and make it look pretty good. I'm going to take you down to Dayton, Ohio to the National Museum of the U.S. Air Force to show you a close-up of a replica P-26 on display in the early years gallery, just to give you an idea what that engine, that cowling, and that radial looked like in real life. All right, it's time for the fuselage, and we're going to pull this out of the plastic wrap. It's wrapped very nicely. There's a rubber band at the end. Over the years, as I've seen this P26, I knew it was 30cc, but you just never put it 2 and 2 together in your head to realize how large of a model this is. This is a really nice size, and this beefy fuselage just helps with that presence. I'm really excited about it. Those little styrofoam things on top of the canopy hatch, those are covering the levers to open up the hatch, and we'll show that in a little bit. But we'll spin this around and show you what the fuselage looks like right out of the box. The rounded belly is going to make it a little bit hard. You can't set it down very nicely. You're going to have a stand to keep this thing stable, but just to let you know. And we'll look at the front. You can see there's different mounting patterns for different engines and motors. And we'll take a look at the rear end. The rudder assembly will be epoxied on the top there. You can see through where the tail wheel is going to go. You can see where the rear stabs are going to be connected. And there's that little tab on the very end that's going to be used for the rudder hinge wire. Let's take the hatch off, and there's two little pull switches you pull out to release the hatch, and we'll get some views of the inside. There's tabs on the back of the hatch, and you can see those little pull switches are on the front to secure it in place. Room for 1 rudder servo, 2 elevator servos, a throttle servo if you're going to use that, and a lot of space for batteries right there, which is what I'm excited for. I will be going electric, as always, as is customary and traditional. And at the bottom, you see there's air outlet holes on the very bottom for an electric setup, so that's pretty cool to see that in there as well. And some last close-ups to end up this video. Here's where the wing connects on the fuselage, just to give you an ultra close-up view of how it connects. Everyone, thanks for tuning in to this virtual unboxing experience where we take the Seagull P26 Peashooter out of the box and give you close-up views of all the pieces parts so you will know what you're getting yourself into if you decide to take up this ARF. Thanks for tuning in, and look forward to the build series coming soon.